Hello, here we are live on LinkedIn. This week, I'm going to be talking about how to run your week, which is something that I was discussing with my clients in something we call Hero Hour last week. And this is a shorter version just for you guys. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you about 10 techniques, and they are to help you run your week properly, not your day, your week. Because one of the problems that I see is that most of us don't really have a week in the sense of something that's planned and organized. We have 5 days of reacting. The calendar fills up, the list keeps growing, and you keep waiting for a quiet moment to do the important stuff. Am I right? But that never arrives. And your problem isn't really discipline. You're working hard. You're always putting the hours in. The problem is that you don't have a system. So, 10 techniques, quick fire. Should we get into it? So, number 1, the weekly review. 30 minutes, same time every week. Close the loops, empty your head. Decide what next week is actually for. I think this is the keystone. Everything else falls down without it. In my particular case, I do this every Friday. I have a scheduled 30 minutes at the end of Friday afternoon. I go through some specific things. I look at my numbers. I look at whether or not I did or I didn't do the things I said I was going to do at the end of the week. So this is the keystone. This is number 1. Number 2, plan the week, not the day. A day is too short horizon. Things can knock it off course too easily. So don't plan days, plan weeks. Decide the 3 things that must be true by Friday. You can do this at your weekly review, and everything else is negotiable. Okay? So the 3 things that are most important in the week, make sure you write them down. For me, they go in my physical planner that I have at the top of the week. What are the 3 things that I really want to do? I write them kind of as themes. Number 3, front load the important stuff. Most people, your attention degrades across the week, not just across the day. So, heard this phrase, maybe Friday is where good intentions go to die. So whatever matters the most, try and do it on Monday, Tuesday. If it's still sitting there, if it's still being bumped to Thursday, it was never protected. And that's a failure of your system, not your discipline. Number 4, theme your days. Have, if you can, 1 day for meetings, 1 for deep work, 1 for admin. This is because context switching, changing between different types of different types of task, is like a tax on your cognitive abilities. It doesn't show up anywhere on your calendar, but it is the most expensive thing that you do. So pick 1 day, defend it as a no meeting day at the very least. That's the best place to start. Number 5, set work in progress limits. So this is about capping how many live projects you allow yourself. For me, 3 done properly beats 9 that I carry around half finished. There's loads of research to show that this is true. And also, if you've got a background in anything like agile or using, lean or Kanban or things like that, you know that this is true. Starting is not progress. So list what's open, choose 3, and park the rest. They are not abandoned. You're just not doing them now. And you're not doing them now with intention. Number 6, periodize the week. So no athlete trains flat out every day. They have hard days, easy days, deliberate recovery, and your week should have the same shape. So take a look at next week. Which is your hard day? Which is your easy one? This is about managing your energy over time. If you want to know more about managing your energy, send me a DM and I'll tell you some of the best advice I've ever received about that. Number 7, protect the white space. An empty slot in your calendar isn't necessarily a gap waiting to be filled. It might be the buffer that absorbs the chaos. So book a couple of hours next week with no purpose. That means that when the week goes wrong, and it will, that's what saves you. You haven't overcommitted, you have a bit of flex, and you can manage things as you go. Number 8, set implementation intentions. I will do X at Y time in Z place. I will do X at Y time in Z place. This is one of the most robust findings in behavior change. It doubles the likelihood that you actually do it. So not, I'll get to the strategy document, or rather, I'll draft it on Tuesday at 9 a.m. at the kitchen table. You see the difference? So set clear intentions, times, and places, and you're much more likely to do the things that you really want to do in your week. Number 9, the shutdown ritual. This is about having a defined end to the week, not a gradual fade into the weekend. So sit down, note what's open, note the next step, then genuinely stop. Without it, unfinished work follows you into the weekend. So 15 minutes on a Friday is all it takes, then close the laptop. This is because if you have lots of open loops in your mind, your brain doesn't like open loops. It wants to close them, but it can't if you're in the weekend. So by closing those loops and setting an intention to pick the work up next week, you give your brain and your cognitive processes a chance to relax. Then you recover, you come back next week doing a much better job. And number 10, the Friday verdict. Ask yourself an honest question. Did I spend this week on what actually matters? And this isn't a scorecard, it's just a steer. If the answer is no, 3 weeks running, say, then the problem isn't your week. It's your commitments, it's your prioritization. It's that sort of thing. So these are 10 things. I've gone through them really quickly. If you want to know more about them, obviously get in touch and ask me some questions. But they are a weekly review, plan the week, front load the important, theme your days, set work in progress limits, periodize, protect the white space, set implementation intentions, have a shutdown ritual, and then have a Friday verdict. So don't try all 10. Pick 2. Do that before the end of this week, ready for next week. Pick the one that would make the biggest difference and the one you would actually do. Okay? So if this is useful, this is exactly the kind of thing I work through with clients, one-to-one, through my Hero program, working with teams, helping people to build a working life that is actually designed, not just survived. If that sounds like you, come and have a conversation. There are links all over. And of course, you can send me a direct message or head to stephenlockcoaching.com. Hope you find this useful. Have a brilliant day.